Your will does not control your pension. Not your solicitor, not your executor, not your family. If you died tonight, the most valuable asset you have spent decades building could end up in the hands of someone you never intended to receive it. And most people do not discover that until it is too late. I want to tell you about Martin, senior executive, late 50s, careful man, good solicitor, proper will, lasting power of attorney in place, everything done correctly by any conventional measure. He had also been divorced for 11 years. Then he fell in love again, this time with Catherine. Together they had 3 wonderful children. His pension, worth £840,000, was still nominated to his first wife. The expression of wishes form had been filled in during a workplace induction in 2003 and never updated. When we found it, he went quiet for a long time. His will was immaculate. His pension was a disaster waiting to happen. The rules around pension death benefits are among the most consequential and most misunderstood in UK financial planning. And with a significant change coming in April 2027, they are more urgent than they have ever been. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly who gets your pension, why your will can't stop it, and the 20-minute fix that could save your family hundreds of thousands of pounds. Martin also made one more discovery that afternoon, something separate from the nomination form that changed his entire retirement plan. I'll come back to that. My name is Mark. Welcome back to Wealth Architecture. Let's get into it. To understand why that situation is even possible, you need to understand how a pension is legally structured. When you contribute to a pension, whether a workplace-defined contribution scheme, a self-invested personal pension, or a master trust, the assets are held in trust, not in your name in the conventional sense. The pension fund is administered by trustees for your benefit during your lifetime and for the benefit of your nominated beneficiaries when you die. Because it sits in trust, it does not form part of your estate. Your will has no authority over it. Your executor has no power to direct it. The pension trustees decide who receives the funds, and the only document that influences that decision is the expression of wishes form, a piece of paper most people filled in during a new job induction and have not looked at since. The trustees are not obligated to follow your expression of wishes. It is not legally binding. They have discretion. That discretion is intentional. It is the feature that has historically kept the pension outside the estate for inheritance tax purposes. In practice, most trustees will follow a clear, current, unambiguous nomination without question. The problem arises when the form is out of date, incomplete, or contradicts itself. A nominated beneficiary who is deceased, an ex-spouse from a marriage that ended a decade ago, grown children whose financial circumstances have changed dramatically. Martin updated his expression of wishes the same afternoon we found the issue. It took 20 minutes. That 20 minutes potentially redirected £840,000 from his first wife to his second wife and children. Find yours today. If you do not know where your expression of wishes form is, contact your pension provider now. Review every nomination. If anything is out of date, update it before you do anything else in this video. Everything else we discuss depends on the right people being nominated to receive it. The second mistake is less visible, but for high-earning families, it is potentially more expensive. UK pension death rules do not operate as a single system. They operate in 2 entirely distinct eras, separated by a single number, age 75. Your 75th birthday is, for pension purposes, the most consequential date in retirement. Whether you die the day before it or the day after it determines the entire tax treatment of what your beneficiaries receive. Era A. If you die before 75, beneficiaries can usually receive your pension free of income tax. If they keep it inside inherited drawdown, those withdrawals remain income tax-free. Large lump sums may still be limited by the lump sum and death benefit allowance. Era B. Death at or after 75. Everything changes. Your beneficiaries still inherit the fund, but any withdrawals they take are taxed as income at their own marginal rate. Every pound they draw out is added to their own income for that year. Think about what that means for Martin's daughter, who earns £145,000. She inherits a pension of £1.5 million. She begins taking £60,000 per year. That £60,000 is added to her salary. Her income is now £205,000. No personal allowance, 45% on the pension withdrawal. If she had a good bonus year and took more, the personal allowance taper means parts of it are taxed at 60%. A pension that grew tax-free for 30 years unwound at 60% because nobody planned the withdrawal rate around the beneficiary's existing income. The answer is not to avoid inheriting the pension, it is to inherit it in the right structure. When a pension member dies, beneficiaries face a choice in how they receive the fund. Option 1. Take a lump sum, immediate, simple, and if the member died at or after 75, immediately subject to income tax at the beneficiary's marginal rate. Option 2. Designate the fund into inherited drawdown. Inherited drawdown keeps the pension inside a tax-exempt wrapper after the original member's death. The money continues to grow free of income tax and capital gains tax. The beneficiary draws income from it at a pace that suits their own tax position. More in lower income years, less when other income is high. They control when the tax is paid and at what rate. The more sophisticated implication, the inherited drawdown can be renominated. When the person who inherited the drawdown dies, they nominate their own beneficiaries, children, grandchildren. Those beneficiaries set up their own inherited drawdown. The pension continues to shelter within a tax-exempt structure, potentially for decades beyond the original member's death. A pension built by one person can, if structured correctly, shelter wealth for 3 generations inside a tax-exempt environment. The fund compounds. The family controls the withdrawal rate at each generation. The tax bill is managed rather than imposed. Here is the trap almost nobody sees coming. When the lifetime allowance was abolished in April 2024, it was replaced by 2 new allowances: the lump sum and death benefit allowance. The LSDBA governs what can be paid as a tax-free lump sum on your death. The LSDBA cap is £1,073,100. A 45% taxpayer receiving a £2 million lump sum pension payout would pay income tax on roughly £927,000 of it. If the fund is designated into inherited drawdown instead, the LSDBA does not apply. The full fund passes into the drawdown wrapper without an immediate tax charge. For Martin, this completely changed the conversation. For any pension likely to exceed £1,073,100, lump sum death benefit payments should almost always be avoided. The drawdown structure is superior in almost every scenario. This was the second discovery Martin made that afternoon. His pension was already over £1 million. If his family took it as a lump sum, if he died before 75, nearly £250,000 could be lost unnecessarily. He had never considered it. His will didn't mention it. His solicitor had not raised it. For 30 years, one rule made pensions the most powerful inheritance vehicle in Britain. In April 2027, that rule changes. Under the current rules, most defined contribution pensions sit outside your estate for inheritance tax purposes. Your pension fund, however large, does not count towards the IHT calculation on your death. From April 2027, under current government proposals, undrawn pension pots will be brought within the estate for inheritance tax purposes, potentially subject to 40% IHT above the nil rate band, on top of any income tax your beneficiaries pay on withdrawals. A beneficiary inheriting a large undrawn pension from April 2027 could face IHT on the fund and income tax on withdrawals, a genuine double tax scenario for high-value estates. The inherited drawdown structure remains intact. What changes is the entry cost. The strategic implication is a shift in planning emphasis. The pension remains the most tax-efficient accumulation vehicle during your working life. What changes is the drawdown sequencing question in retirement: which assets to spend first, and how to balance IHT exposure across the estate as a whole. This is the kind of planning conversation that should be happening now, not in March 2027. In retirement, the right question is not just how much to draw, it is which assets to draw from first. The order matters enormously, both for income tax efficiency during your lifetime and for IHT exposure on your death. Draw from your general investment account first. It is subject to IHT on your death. Draw it down. Crystallize gains annually. Draw from your ISA second. Tax-free growth and withdrawals during your lifetime. But in most cases, ISAs join the estate on your death. Use them generously. For many higher earners, the pension is often the last major asset they should consider spending. Even with the proposed 2027 IHT changes, the pension accumulates tax-free throughout your working life. Beneficiaries can manage withdrawals through inherited drawdown, and the structural flexibility is unmatched. It is the last vault you open, not the first. 1. Find your expression of wishes form. Contact your pension provider if you need to. Review every nomination. If anything is out of date, update it today. 20 minutes. Potentially worth hundreds of thousands of pounds directed to the right people. 2. Understand which side of age 75 your planning sits on. If you are approaching 75 with a large, undrawn pension, the decisions you make now about drawdown rate and beneficiary structure will define the tax position of your estate for a generation. 3. If you have pension assets likely to be affected by the proposed April 2027 IHT changes, get specific professional advice before that deadline. The legislation has now been announced, although some of the detailed implementation guidance continues to develop. But the direction of travel is clear. Waiting until the budget confirmation is not a planning strategy.